Wrestling would be boring if everyone had the same style, wouldn't you say? It's really up to the individual what kind of styles there are. You could go with the nationality route and kind of pin everyone together based on where they're from. Lucha style, North American style, UK, Britain style, or whatever. Or you could come up with little categories like I did for the individual wrestlers. To me, there are a basic 5 categories for wrestlers to fall into. They are striker, power, high speed, or high flying, that's one category, technical, and all-arounder. I thought about it for a while and decided on these, as you can pretty much pin every single Stardom wrestler into one of these 5 categories. This doesn't consider gag wrestlers or gimmick wrestlers because none of these Stardom signed people are actually one of those. The closest thing is Samire, and Samire isn't signed to Stardom. And as you all know, I do not use people not signed to Stardom in these videos that specifically talk about Stardom. Because once you start adding people, then you need somewhere to cut off, and you can't justify why I'm not using Viper, but I'm using Death Yama-san. I tried my hardest to pick one person per category, so no ties here like my overall wrestler video. And some of the placements might not make sense to you guys, but I'll try my hardest to explain why I placed them there instead of another category that might be more fitting. Also, I'm not going to be including the rookies or Julia in this video. And the reason for that is most of the rookies do not have a particular style right now. They're still trying to figure themselves out. They're still learning things. I mean, what is Saya's style? You know, like there really isn't. She's moves fast and she does drop kicks a lot. You know, that Kamitani's style is the closest thing to anything you can pick right now, and even then, that's still wishy-washy. So no rookies, no Julia, and the reason why I'm not doing Julia is because I don't have enough data on her. Like, I've only seen one match, technically 2 matches, but one match from her since she's been in Stardom. And I can't really properly place her yet because it's just not enough of seeing her to know exactly where to put her. If I had to pick a spot right now, based on what I've seen, I would probably throw her in the all-arounder section, just because the all-arounder is pretty much a catch-all. So if I can't pick something, I just throw them there, really. But it just seemed like she did a lot of different stuff. So just in the, in the sport of fairness, I'm not going to be including her until much later, like maybe a month or 2 from now, when she has many matches under her belt and I kind of get a sense of her style and personality and whatnot. I can start including her in these videos without feeling like I'm talking about something I don't know about. So let's get to it. First category is going to be striker. And of course, as you can see here on the screen, the 3 people that I classify as strikers in Stardom are Momo Watanabe, Orisa Hoshiki, and Tam Nakano. While everyone in Stardom tends to use a variety of strikes, only 3 came to mind when I think of the word striker. This was both easy and hard to choose, as each of the 3 have very different kicking styles that are great for different reasons. Momo Watanabe is a great power kicker. Her kicks tend to have the most impact and strength behind them, usually being able to make her opponent regret allowing one more kick to the back. Orisa Hoshiki is the most smooth when it comes to kicks. With her kickboxing background, all her kicks look very real and quick. Tam Nakano is the most stylish of the 3 when it comes to her kicks. With her martial arts background, her strikes tend to be a little bit more flashy. So who do I pick as the best striker in Stardom? Well, I'm going to pick Orisa for this. The reason being that her kicks are so amazing. Every one is quick, hard-hitting, and real-looking. They may not be as impactful as Momo's or flashy as Tam's, but her kicks seems to have a more real feel behind them than the other 2. Power. The 3 people that I've decided to use in the power category are Jungle Kiona, Utami Hayashishita, and Natsuko Tora. Power wrestlers tend to be favorites to a lot of people. I mean, how could you look at a power bomb and think it isn't awesome? Power wrestlers are wrestlers who, for the most part, use a lot of strength-based moves, or that their main feature is strength feats. Jungle Kyona is the name we all think of when thinking of Stardom power wrestlers, but that doesn't mean she automatically gets the spot. While her strength feats seem rare and far in between, her slight strength feats tend to feel more fluid and natural. Utami Hayashishita came into Stardom and made a name for herself by being way better than a rookie at her level should be. Utami seems to be a little stronger than Jungle is though, as her strength feats seem to always shine more than Jungle's. While she might not be as polished as Jungle is, her moves tend to look like they require more strength than others in Stardom. Natsuko Tora isn't exactly a power wrestler for the most part. Since joining Odotai, she has less power qualities, but a lot of her moveset and mannerisms from being in John still bleed through. Out of all of the power wrestlers, she always seemed to be on the lesser, so she's not really a contender here, unfortunately. This is really a competition between Jungle and Utami. I thought about this one a lot, because they are both great for different reasons. So, which to go with? More fluid strength or raw power? In the end, I decided to choose Utami. I am sad that Jungle is losing out to another person once again, but Utami's strength feats seem more impressive. Her moveset seems to rely more on straight power than Jungle's, and Utami is fast becoming a great wrestler. So, in my opinion, the best power wrestler in Stardom is Utami Hayashishita. High speed, high flyer. The three people here that tend to fall into this category are Hazuki, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. This one is between these three people, and that shouldn't be a surprise. Even the wrestlers themselves have joked about the low number of speed wrestlers. This one is probably going to cause some controversy though. Hazuki is by far the most solid when it comes to high-speed techniques. She rarely messes up and her moves are mostly smooth even at the high speeds. Azumi is the most talented in my opinion. While she is very rough around the edges, her insane ability and willingness to take it almost too far gives her a huge advantage here. Starlight Kid is the slowest of the speed wrestlers. While she is pretty quick in some instances, I still feel she isn't comparable to Hazuki and Azumi when it comes to the speed part of high speed. She's more on the high flying side, and even then it's not really even that great. Yet. So, who is the best high speed wrestler in Stardom? If Hazuki wasn't retiring, I'd pick her. I think in another year Azumi would win against her naturally, but right now she is too messy to beat her straight up. But since Hazuki is retiring though, and probably very soon after this video is uploaded, I decided to not choose her. Instead, this is going to Azumi. But just for clarification, if Hazuki wasn't retiring in like a week, I would give this to her. Technical. Two people fall into the technical category for me, and that is Konami and Saki Kashima. So, in my opinion, there really are only two technical wrestlers in Stardom, and Saki I'm sure will get people arguing that she isn't one. I can't see her as anything but a technical wrestler though. The things she does in the ring is just insane, and to me, she's a technical wrestler. Konami really doesn't need an argument. There is no one in Stardom that can out-wrestle her. Even Kagetsu, one of the better technical wrestlers in Stardom, couldn't beat Konami once they started grappling. One of the dumbest things you could do is to try to out-submission Konami in the ring. Saki is just a chaotic mess of moves. She is constantly doing things that just seem like she is making it up as she goes along. It seems like in any position or any angle, she can turn it into an opportunity. That's why I see her as a technical wrestler instead of a high-speed wrestler. So, of course, this goes to Konami, and it's not even a competition. I love Saki, but Konami is on a whole different level when it comes to this. She even made Kagetsu look out of her league in their 30-minute draw this year when they were grappling. When Konami takes you to the ground, you are in for a world of hurt, because she knows how to get you in a submission from pretty much every position. You think you can reverse it? Well, she can pretty much reverse any reverse you try to use to get out of her submissions. That's how good she is. Allrounder. For Allrounder, I picked 4 people here: Mayu Iwatani, Kagetsu, Andres Miyagi, and Hana Kimura. All-rounders are usually the best of the best when it comes to wrestling. Now, being an all-rounder does not mean they are better, but I believe most either stay in their own category or morph into this over the years. So the people with a lot of experience and talent tend to turn into all-rounders. An all-rounder, to me, isn't necessarily someone who does everything, but someone who does enough of a bunch of the categories to not be pinned down into one specific one. Mayu Iwatani might be a surprise to some of you, as I bet you would have placed her in the high-speed category. When making this script, I originally did too, but then after thinking about it for a while, I believe her current wrestling style is more of an all-rounder than high-speed these days. Many of her signature moves are not just about speed, but strikes or power or technical abilities. That's why I placed her here. As you probably guess, she is also a strong contender for this category's winner. Kagetsu's placement here was easy. If there was anyone in Stardom who does a bit of everything, it's Kagetsu. Her finishers are a mix of high flying and power, her technical skills only beaten by Konami, her strikes are pretty weak, but she still includes a number of them in her arsenal. Andres Miyagi is pretty much Kagetsu light. She does a bit of everything and she does it well. Her power moves seem effortless, her technical skills nothing to scoff at, and she is deceptively fast for a person her size. I have said it from almost the beginning, but I see a huge star in Miyagi one day. Last is Hana Kimura, and this one I had trouble placing. While I didn't think she is exactly an all-rounder, that's the closest category she falls into. Her wrestling style is more of a mix between strikes, technical, and power, so I placed her here because I had to put her somewhere. Hana is good, but I don't think she is a serious contender for this spot. Sorry, Hana fans. This is really a competition between Kagetsu and Mayu. This is tough, very tough, because they have their own strengths that the others don't. While Mayu is faster and more agile, Kagetsu is more powerful and technical. For every moonsault that Mayu does, Kagetsu is grappling at a high level. So, who gets it? After much thought, I would have to give it to Mayu purely on her insane ability and fluidity of her moves. Anything she does just looks amazing. So while it was close, the winner of the all-rounder category is Mayu Iwatani. There you go, the best wrestler in their respective categories. Most were easy to pick, but the power and all-rounder ones were very difficult for me. Even now, I'm not 100% sure on those two categories. It's really hard to choose one of those because the two contenders, Jungle and Utami, and then Kagetsu and Mayu, they're so very close together in their own category. Now, I'm not saying that like Utami is a better wrestler than Jungle or Jungle's a better wrestler than Utami, but as purely just looking at their power category, they're so similar, but for different reasons. Like they're both got, I believe they both got 10s in power on my my video for the overall wrestlers, but they got 10 for different reasons. So what is really better? And at that point, when they're that close and you don't know, you just kind of have to go with a gut feeling. And I felt like giving it to Utami here was the right choice, and giving the other one to Mayu was the right choice. Do you agree with my picks? Who would you choose instead? Would you have placed someone in a different category than I did? Let me know in the comments. Bye.